I've been with Teenage 14 years, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've always enjoyed making music or noise with silly gadgets, so I feel right at home. And today we are doing a first-time thing here. I have the pleasure of exploring together with Heavee what he's been doing here at the library. Maybe you want to introduce when he comes. Maybe you want to introduce you guys. Yeah, sure.
Sounds good.
And this will be a conversation as well, like an interactive thing. We'll be going through whatever we can. There's the display. You can come up and look and touch and feel and whatever, but should be interesting. I didn't know, this is my first time in Chicago, I didn't know there was a beach. Maybe people are there.
I didn't know there was a lake.
Exactly, yeah. I've been in Detroit. I'm looking forward to go to Kalamazoo. We're driving there tomorrow. And one of my first techno labels that I really liked was out of Kalamazoo, which was Black Nation Records.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to the train station in Kalamazoo because they have a sign where it says Detroit this way, Chicago that way, and you know they're kind of in the middle, and that's also where my musical heart is. So
you gotta take some selfies there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Close the circle because one of the labels had that photo on the vinyl on the record. So that's me nerding out. But sure. Black Nation it was called. So I didn't care about politics. I've never done, but it's quite political. Yeah, but it's cool. And then we're going to Detroit to do some kind of workshop there, and I'll be spending some time to make music, and then we are going to New York, back to York area, to do to do a workshop. No, sorry, to do a what's it called? Trade show. Expo. For B&H, and then I'm headed home for midsummer to eat pickled herring and drink snaps. So we'll be good. Have you been to Sweden yet?
No.
Well, consider yourselves invited. Hey, we got the man. Are you good with drinks? Got some, or you need some?
Yeah. We'll bring one up for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that Daryl's back, I want to just say hello again and welcome. My name is James. I work here at Experimentation Sound Studio, so we're thrilled to have you all here. Of course, thrilled to have our guests from Sweden and the East Coast, Harry and Amanda back there. So this portion of the workshop, we're shifting gears to focus on the music of Heavee, Daryl, who's joined us for the past couple of weeks and has gone fairly deep in our archives down in the basement. So if you're unfamiliar with ESS, you know now that we're a nonprofit recording studio, we operate out of this space with clients who come in and record here, but we also run a number of different programs, free concerts on Sundays in the back garden called our Option Series that begins this Sunday. So be sure to come back and check that out.
We got flyers on the front table.
And then, specific to ESS, part of, one of the biggest components of ESS is our archives in the basement, which is what I oversee here. So I have the pleasure of, every day coming into work and discovering new sounds that are always just right under my fingertips. So with this project, though, we thought it would be really cool to bring in a Chicago musician and have him listen to some of our archives, specifically the Sun Ra archive, which is one of our largest collections that features the music of jazz pioneer Sun Ra, who spent just about a couple of decades living on the south side of Chicago. So we have about 650 reel-to-reels and then about 200 cassettes, part of that collection, that consist of practice tapes, live sort of field recordings, concerts, like basically voice memos of Sun Ra's experiments with his organs and listening to the radio, and then voicemail recordings. So it's a really, really unique archive that exists nowhere else. And so Heavee has come into that archive and explored, and so the point of this was all to sort of reimagine some of that content in a new context, in a contemporary context, and put it back out in the world, and activate the archive in a way that hasn't been done before. We do have archive residencies. People have come in before and done similar projects, but nothing that's so specific to a genre of music that I think Chicago can proudly call its own. In the 160 BPM realm is all you really need to know. The rest, makes sense when you hear it. And it's a type of music that I myself create and love. So I'm very excited to kick off this project. And so if you have any questions about ESS, you know where to find us. Got Alex here, he's our chief engineer, and then Kate, who's our studio manager. Come find us with questions later.
Maybe we could do, like, if there's time in the end, we could show everybody the archive.
Yeah, sounds good.
Enough.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I'll kick it back over to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So this is exciting. This is first time I'm meeting you in person.
First time meeting in person.
So we've been contacting each other over Instagram and
Internet buddies.
Yeah, exactly. So this is sweet. A lot of firsts for me this time. So, Heavee, what you've been going through? I mean, you've had an experience downstairs, right?
Absolutely. Digging through the carts and listening to everything, going over the sounds with James, from like he said, all of these different type of sounds. Sun Ra, just listening to the radio, conversations, lectures. It was such a vast pool of stuff to listen through. So I started off with just no real need to kind of figure out what I want to do. I just want to come in and soak things up and absorb things. So the first thing we did was we started to just record stuff that sounded good. So we used the TP7 to just kind of take notes of the stuff that sounded good, and we could go back later and preview those things. So the process starts on the TP7.
So that's here?
That's here.
The multi-track tape recorder, basically.
Yeah. And that's how we used it, directly in. And then we're able to kind of preview through some things. I don't know if that would be cool now to listen to.
Sure thing.
Because there is some.
So we have this also, and you had some cables, and we figured let's not connect too much so we can show how to connect this, and let's just explore together. And we also said if there's something going wrong, we'll just have everyone in the room what's it called? Troubleshoot it. Thank you. So we got this.
Okay, so I'll turn it on and then
this is in sleep mode, so it's just a small bar here, but I woke that up. So this is the mixer. We had a big mixer before, but it looked
nice
kind of
big zone mixer.
Yeah.
This is huge.
And now, so it detects a signal. Is that a stereo or is it a balanced signal? Is it a mono signal stereo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's accept that. Okay. And then we'll see where we go in. You go into the second channel. Perfect.
And then I just said, I just went to my cue point so that on the TP7 you're able to make placeholders of if there's a long recording or if you're doing a podcast, because it has multiple uses. I say a cue point essentially be able to mark where I want to hear right from that point. So this is just a vocal excerpt from the archive.
Ooh, hey.
It's a new time. Time for harmony across the land and sea.
something positive, something
Let the
lighthearted.
seeds of peace grow in your heart.
But it's from a different time.
Ridding out the past.
So it really, it
Making
really
a
brings
fresh
everything together.
Start. Let the mark of a handshake be the first step we make toward harmony across the land and sea.
Hell yeah.
Peace is in the air, and there's joy everywhere. Peace.
Wow. Good catch. Out of this, I don't know how many hours, how many weeks, how many months, but okay, so I get it.
It was plentiful, honestly, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was hard to kind of, hone in on because it was a lot of good stuff, a lot of good stuff. So,
Yep, sweet.
so from there, I wanted to kind of find some sort of structure or rhythm, and then I kept listening, and then we started to find loops that were more musical, more with percussion and things like that. And that process led me to hooking up the TP7 into the KO and sampling in. So that would bring me to my track.
Sure, awesome.
Okay. So I'm gonna put my KO into song mode, and then we're gonna just go ahead and listen to the.
Ooh, so you're using song mode?
Do you? Let's talk.
Yeah, okay, no, sure. So that was a recent update that we put out, and that's been a requested feature. So we added song mode, basically, so you could arrange, not just play and perform live on it, you could actually program the sequences, or the scenes, as we call them, in an order and make a song. And we had a question about if you could record the punch-in effects. You still cannot, but at least you have a song structure that you can kind of follow along. Okay, so that's cool. So you went into song mode?
I went into song mode, and song mode would be at the very end.
Sure, yeah, right.
But so we created some. Well, I'll play the.
And right now, so we're going here, and I turned that perfect. I
Oh,
turned
good,
the
yeah.
channel down.
So our channel is down.
And the 6. There we go.
All right, we got a little audio.
Oh, nice. So how many projects have you utilized here? We have,
I cleared it out for today,
okay.
but I did. There's 3 that I made for this during the residency.
Sure.
So yeah, today we're gonna talk. We're gonna play this one. Put in some more. The loop is Disco 3000, Sunrise Disco 3000, and he had this drum machine. It's and that loop, what you're hearing now, that's what caught me. So I wanted to keep it minimal, just build on that, and then add pieces in slowly but surely.
And that vocal is what we heard.
Yeah, the vocal can.
Going good.
you're hearing the sequences kind of play through, so I'm able to perform with effects. So look, that's some pro level stuff right there.
Yeah, what's that combo here?
So I'm using the effects, the delay, but I'm also changing the timing of it. Little crazy button combo.
Sweet. Woo! Thank you. So you have 4 groups.
Yeah.
What kind of samples did you have across the 4 groups?
Normally my workflow would be I just kind of keep samples and drums separate. There was a cool Instagram video that I saw. The person's name is Fabe86. He uses the KOs really proficiently, and his suggestion was to place samples in one group. So group A could be my samples. Group B should be my kicks, just kicks.
Right.
C could be snares and claps, and then D would be bass, and it would just offer me just a little bit more like I guess easier to maintain. The sound is a little bit crispier, pushy hard. So these are things that I figured I'd try. So in group A, I do have different samples that you can trigger, different ideas that we could. So we could totally start in the track with some of these other pieces, and we could also swap them out. And then in group B,
It's muted, right?
Yeah, it's muted. Thank you. So we got some bass here. This might be keys. It's bass. Here we go. Got some percussion here. Some R70 drum sounds, rolling drum sounds that I really like. And then some kicks and low end information down in D.
Sweet. And then you programmed like the patterns. You made a scene. And how many scenes do you have? So right now we're at scene 7. So if you hold the main button, we tried before. Let's see if I don't cover it. So you have 9 different projects. So that's the project that's blinking. So we know we're at project 1. But you can also go with plus and minus, or with umbrella and plus. You could go with the different scenes. And a scene is then basically a snapshot of whatever you did. Okay, I like this. I want to commit this. And then he takes it and copies whatever it is, and then you can add on top of it. Was that kind of how you worked it? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah. Going back to like the first scene, and taking everything to one.
Oh yeah, right.
I think I make. Sorry.
Yeah, because one scene can have different patterns per group.
Yeah.
So it's quite complex. Even though it's a simple device, you can do a lot of things with it.
It runs incredibly deep.
Right? Okay.
So I like to kind of go maximalism and put everything out down on tape, and then I'll start subtracting as I make new scenes. So you'll hear like there's some scenes where it kind of sounds like we're going into like intro territory, and then some where it's like it's almost chaotic. This is more like intro or like a build-up, if you will. This is more like a drop. Like I've removed things so that you can like kind of focus on the drums. I chopped up the sample into smaller pieces, so it's almost being taken away. See, it's just those. I love the triplet, and the KO has really good timing and time correct. So if you want to quantize something, if you want to switch between different like timing, like 1/16 to triplet, you can do that and go back and forth, and it'll keep up with you. It'll keep up with you. So
It's a new time.
there's that vocal.
It's a new time.
I like that you can switch between patterns while it's playing.
Yeah, and that's a setting, right? So you can have it set to switch when the pattern has played
Or right away.
or right away. Exactly. So there's a system menu. If you know the key combo, you can, it looks like
Yeah, I'm
a
like
calculator.
like I'm doing taxes.
But you could also go shift, erase, takes us to the system menu, and then I think we turned on the velocity sensitivity. So we go to, for instance, pads, enter velocity. Let's see what you have off. Okay. So
Yeah, I like full velocity.
and then you could use the fader to control the velocity,
Huh.
or
Okay.
or at least the level. So, okay, awesome. So there's many ways to do stuff here. What's that?
Demo.
Yeah. I mean, so we had the let's see.
Sorry, I just pulled
Okay.
the new beat up.
Oh sure, let's go with that. So is this a new track?
So this is a new track, and this one is a little bit more bare bones. We actually kind of started it today.
Cool.
But this, I figured, would be a good way we can layer things on top, maybe,
Yeah, sure.
if you want to try some stuff like that.
Definitely.
So yeah, super simple. Just kind of a few.
And tempo still 160.
160.
Do you ever go out of that?
Absolutely. 80.
Good answer. Oh, that's cool. Okay. We were doing a 180 thing.
Yeah.
Last session. for
Oh,
this,
true. That's
but
like
I didn't
drum
have
and bass.
tempo, so oh, this is nice.
So I believe I do have a few sequences in here too.
So you started this today. And how long does it take you to get from 0 to this? If you had all the samples already.
Really, it's about layering or structuring the sample first. I want to find some sort of structure or groove for the sample, and however long that may take. In this instance, I actually placed the sample down into a 1-bar loop and quantize recorded it so that it dropped and it's in time. And then I can adjust it, and I switched the sample to something else. To this,
Oh,
so it was something else at first. Maybe I shouldn't.
I mean, maybe there's if you go to an empty scene, maybe you could show some of that.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, is it shift?
You can just hold main, and then that will switch every scene. So because you can switch scene per group, you could hold.
So that's what you guys see me doing, that button
Exactly.
combo, like.
But if instead of holding all 4, you could just hold main here and then go to, and you don't have anything more, so we could go scene 8, scene. Oh, maybe you have stuff here. No, sorry. But where are your main?
The drums would have been in B, and then like this is where the sample. Yeah, the sample is here.
Cool. Is there a way for you to kind of layer some of that now, so we can show how you did it?
Okay.
If you want to go to more empty stuff, you can do that.
Okay, I got you. I think I got a good idea. Cool. All right, so this time means that it's an empty pattern, correct?
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All right, so I'll play the. Let's try to find one where there's just a sample. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna. There we go. All right. I'm going to make a footwork pattern for you guys. All right, so.
This sample, did you time stretch it at all, or how did you get it to fit the tempo?
The sample originally had to be pitched up or time stretched. I actually did it outside of the setup. I found there was some music that I found, or I went digging outside of the archive to see what else Sunrise had out there just online. Right. And a few songs that I did find, this was one of them, this particular sample. And I found it or chose to record it because it was like Chicago is home. So I took a video, like a screenshot of YouTube, sorry guys, and I uploaded that into an application called Koala. And and I used Koala to time stretch it and then into the TP7.
Oh, sweet. So, I mean, that's awesome. If there's something you cannot do here, well, find another way and then bring it back in.
Brought it in.
Do you have the sample somewhere? The loop?
Yeah, so
it's on A?
It's 5.
Okay, cool.
A5.
So let me explore this. So I have the sample here. Okay, so then I know that is what? 2 bars, 4 bars, how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So I could go into sound edit, and here I have the loop here selected, and with plus and minus I could set the sound playback mode, the trim and in and out points, the envelope, like how it's played over time. I could go to time, and you have it off, and you know that this is a loop that has a good tempo, so maybe 80 BPM, right?
Yeah.
So let's just it won't destroy anything else. So the rabbit here, the time stretching bunny, you could set that to be either BPM. Or you can set it to how long of a sample.
Bar.
Exactly. So if you know that it's 2 bars, 4 bars. That sounds more like it, right?
Yeah, it does.
There's a bit of
artifacts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but let's see if we change the tempo and trigger this. So it would follow the tempo that we set. So we would go quicker. So that is a way to kind of, let's go back to safe territory. There we go. So sound. So we could set it to bar, or we set it to BPM. And then we know it's, let's say 80. What happens then? Strutty, that's nice. But 160 seemed like it works fine. So that's 2 ways you can kind of prep your loop for time stretching. So if you don't know, if you record whatever, and you know it's out of the BPM, but you know it's a full bar or just 2 bars or whatever, you can set that here. Did you know it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So let's go back to off. There we go. Now it's back to where you had it. I wanted to show it off because I learned it quite recently. But there we go. So you have the loop. No drums right now, right?
Nope.
And nothing maybe.
All right, that's cool.
There we go. And it started on the 1, right? So what would you do on top of this?
I'll just try to kind of establish something that's as close to the metronome as possible.
Do you usually work quantized, or do you go free?
It depends on whatever dish we're making. So when it comes to making footwork, me personally, I will like to quantize so I can have that control. If I was making like a West Coast type beat, I would definitely go free. Wouldn't even try to incorporate as much swing in there as I could.
Right.
Let's do. I'm gonna use the note repeat. What do you call it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know what we say, but note repeat. That's good.
So I'm gonna use the note repeat in a triplet, and I'm gonna use that for my hi-hat. Make sure I got the right track. And then I'm gonna do 16 as well. I'll do 8.
Okay, so that's how you combine the different, like you were talking about, triplets and the straight group.
I'll go from trying different time like corrections just to fill out that that first like initial getting paint on the canvas. So that's like the first thing, and then let's just keep going. Let's keep adding stuff. Just the 4-bar loop right now. I could shift and record in plus, and I could double the length of it.
Right, use that.
Yeah,
that's a feature that we added, and so there's a way to, if you recorded 1 bar and you wanted to have 2 bars, you could either just extend the length but not copy it. But if you use shift, right, that's correct.
Yes.
Then you, basically you copy it, so you get a longer.
Because just the important distinction, if you were to just hit record and plus, you can't add 1 bar to the end of the pattern, but it won't copy your drums or the MIDI that you currently did, or that's in that particular pattern. So by hitting that shift and shift, record, and plus, you'll be able to get a pattern that's duplicated or a longer pattern, and you got the MIDI too. So now we got an 8-bar pattern.
How many key combos? How deep do you go in the key combos? Is it like, do you have to remember a lot of shift?
A little bit. I feel like it ends up becoming like you become close to the device because of the key commands that it has, and sometimes when updates come, if they change, it makes you sad. I get it. You guys are really good with keeping the products true and not doing too much.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. So let's add some low end. It quantized me. Okay. Huh?
Is there a way to nudge like timings and hits?
I mean, yes, there is. I'm not. If you go if we go to timing
Yeah.
and then go plus, you see this as free.
Yeah.
Now we're in the free territory here. So you had kicked out got quantized, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. Let's see. So, but with plus and minus, we can step through the group, the notes in that group. So this is the one.
Yep.
And when we're free, it doesn't go in a grid. So if I had it at 16, let's say, and there we go, and I have it at quantize, then I can go main, and we start there. There we go. Like if you're doing very simple stuff, you know, you can trigger your way across the beat.
Yeah.
But with free, you have to find each little thing, and so we'll do that. What would be the easiest thing you say to correct this? Would it be to replay just that part, or would it? How would you do it if you run into this?
Running into an issue, I could try first the timing and then try to correct it. It's typically
And now I set it to 16. So.
yeah. So just hitting shift and timing will kind of put me in that place to be able to change and move notes and nudge them. And then you hold the note down, or you hold the button down where the pattern exists, and it'll correct them as it goes through the sequence. But we got it set to 16, so it's gonna.
And you could go to 16 triplets or 30 seconds.
True.
But yeah. And I find that when you time correct too much, it gets a bit messy.
It can get a little warbly, yeah, a little make its own. Yeah, so I'm getting.
So
For the sake, I'm like, for the sake of, I'll re-record the hi-hats.
So now you're erasing as you're playing it.
Absolutely.
And you hold the erase and then the pad that you want to erase.
Do you do it all at once too? Just erase the whole
Yes,
stuff?
if you're stopped, then you can hold the erase and the pad. You could hold the erase and the group. You could hold the erase and the main. So, you know, you could erase different levels, basically.
Different levels.
Any questions, just bring them on.
So
Yeah.
when you're like doing like, so you're layering a lot of different stuff here. Like, how do you export this into a song and do like a mixed session now? Like, because all of this is like in one file, you know? If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Right now we're coming out of the main out, so that's a stereo file, or like a stereo signal, and we're just using one input channel on the TX6.
Well, I guess, so you're gonna be mixing on that?
Well, no, so that's the thing. There's no way to do it really.
Right.
So if you wanted,
Yeah.
did you want to kind of like multi-track record whatever?
Yeah. So when you're like doing, I'm assuming you're mixing this and mastering it, unless you're just doing it straight raw from this thing and then exporting it and then uploading it, which is pretty cool. But as far as like mixing goes, like how does that process look?
Good question.
If my normal like routine, what I would do, I'll go back to this track. Since I have things kind of grouped up, that would be a normal way that I work in Ableton with buses. So I put things like grouped together based on their instrument type. So I'll have like just my sample, everything that consists in that folder or that group. I can export that or record that soloed out, and I'll solo each individual group. So once I'm done with that, I'll just do this one. And then,
So you could record this into a DAW?
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I record them like solo each group.
And record real time, basically.
Yeah. And that way I can affect things still as I'm going in if I so choose. Yeah, that's how I normally do it.
So you record one thing at a time.
And you could go crazy and record each sound.
Yeah.
Each single sound, but you choose to do per group, right?
Yeah, I think per group gives me the best flexibility, but still kind of maintains the track structure.
So you're recording this as a MIDI into a DAW?
MIDI?
Or is it like an instrument, like a microphone?
That's a good idea. You could record just a MIDI, and then
That is a
have that
good
MIDI
idea.
trigger whatever you need.
Because you could use it
And
for
you
other things
exactly,
too.
you can mute on the computer what you didn't want to record at the time as audio, like bounce as audio. So that's a good point. Currently, the USB is not for audio, but
So
I
you
say
can't transfer audio.
no, exactly. There's no streaming audio over. So this is not an interface. All the other stuff are interfaces, but this is more limited currently. And you see that face. So we're exploring. Of course, I mean, this is. I used to say this. This is ready, but it's not finished.
Right.
So it will be updated, and let's see where we can take it. But we use this ourselves, and we come into the same situation. Oh, it would be nice if we could. Yeah, let's just do that. So we'll see. But that's a good point of having external MIDI triggering exactly what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Sure, cool. But yeah, I think a lot of people do group per group recording and then go through it. But it's also cool to just do straight out of here.
Yeah.
There's a main out. You could crank it a bit. There's some kind of.
It's like a master compressor.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we're going in here, so you could add throughout the chain basically how much you want.
Yeah, you really can't crank the master out.
Are you using sidechaining at all?
Not on this particular song, no.
That was a update we also put out.
So you could do some type of processing on here, like compression and EQ.
Yeah, sure. The fader could be used for whatever. So if you press the fader, you can set it to. Right now it's set to FX. We could have it to be the low pass filter, the high pass filter, and those tweaks could be recorded. So the fader movements can be recorded. So you could have a low pass filter and a high pass filter and kind of make a band pass out of it and record that.
Are those at the end of the chain or per sample?
That is per group.
Okay.
So you have to be careful or mindful of what you put per group. But there's resampling now, so you could, if you only wanted this on that sound, you could make that change, resample it back into it. Hope you don't run out of 64 megabytes and get going. Yep.
You just brought up a good one.
The
Resampling.
Oh, resampling. Okay.
The vocal that we had, I had the idea to put a delay on it, but I thought of it this morning. What if we resampled it and put delay on it?
Yeah, sure thing. So you have the effects. What are you using the effects at all in this track?
I don't think so.
So it's off.
Yeah.
And you want to, excuse me, the delay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
And you had, excuse me, the fader set to the effect. So how would you go about it? For me, I would have some sequence playing where I could hear the sound being triggered,
Okay.
and then I could set kind of the flavor of the delay that I wanted to.
I feel you.
But now we only want to resample just the sound. Oh, no, sorry, I like that one.
That sound is calling your name.
There we go. And then let's turn that up a bit. And
That's cool.
you know, you can set
Play with the feedback and
exactly. So depending on how we want it.
I think that's a nice flavor right there.
Awesome. And is there an empty spot here?
That one.
That one, we can use
Yeah,
that.
we
And now I think we have the effect at 100%, which
Yeah.
means there's no dry signal, it's only wet. So if we turn this down a bit, so now it's 0. There we go. And then we kind of blend the wet signal. So how do you want it?
Yeah, I like that.
Like that? Okay. And you don't mind like getting the exact numbers. It needs to be 70. Or
I am a stickler, so
Okay.
I'm aware that when you are a stickler or you need the numbers to be exact,
what does stickler mean? Is that
stickler just? Am I saying it right?
No, sure. Yeah, I have a superpower. I'm asking when I don't know the word.
Yeah. Stickler just like I'm like really like adamant that it has to go this way. Or just like
Sure thing. Thanks.
So when you need those exact numbers, then Shift is your friend, and it'll give you a broader, a more detailed number.
Like fine tuning, basically.
Thank you.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay, so we had something we liked, and we could record onto here.
Let's do.
Oh, here. Yeah. Okay. So do you know how to do it?
I don't. That's why.
Let's see if we can figure it out. So we go to sample, and we don't want to use the built-in mic. We don't have an input connected. So let's say we want resampling. Let's go. Do you want mono or stereo? So right now we have the, what's it called? Graviola? No, Victrola. What's
Victrola.
Victrola, something like that. So that represents mono, and here it's stereo. And what do you think? Stereo. How much space do you have? You have to be mindful of the 64 megabytes.
We can do stereo.
Okay,
I
cool.
think we got enough.
So now
Live a little.
Exactly. So now let's see how we do this. So this is, we want to, I think, so this was what we're sampling to, right?
Yes, sir.
So Shift 3, and now if you trigger the 4, that should be playing the 4 and sample to here, and then press sample again to.
We can do like the delay in real time as it's resampling.
Yeah. You can do that. That's hands-free sampling. We added that, so that's my my shift,
and then the pad,
and then the 3 that we want to sample to, and then we trigger this, and we can tweak it. So yeah, let's try. There we go, and hit sample to.
That sample is so long.
No, yeah. Well, let's see. We can always
trim it.
But okay, so what happened if we
got it?
And
so we were.
Hey, we still have the effect on. So maybe we didn't get it. Let's turn the fader, still effect. Let's turn that down to 0. So let's trigger this. No effect, right?
Right.
But here. Oh.
We did get it. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean it's a queue process, and we had this feature was such a requested one, and it makes this machine infinite basically.
Yep.
Well, infinite until you hit the mark here.
At 64, come back to you.
But I mean, who would ever need more, right? No, sure.
Really take advantage of putting things in mono. It helps so much. And then you guys expanded voicing recently, right?
Yeah.
Voice polyphony.
Yes. There's also the trick of recording at a higher pitch and then tweaking it down. So it takes a lot less space, and then you pitch it down, and it will like.
Can you play multiple pads into a resampling pad?
Yes, so you can make chords.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
Again,
you could, like sort of have like fake polyphony back on one.
yeah, sure. Currently, I don't know what the polyphony. I think it's 12 stereo or 16 mono.
Yep.
But yes, you can make, if you have a pad and you want to make a chord or that, you just go shift and to the pad, or sorry, to the, yeah, exactly, to the pad. And then you trigger whatever chord you want
Cool.
to load that, including effects and tweaks and, you know. Okay, so we have the thing. We could add that to the beat if needed. But that's a cool, it's cool we made it work. So this is the second track that you had? No, that was the first track.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a second, but you haven't used this at all. Is this another track or what's this?
This was it. Honestly, it's just the noise moment.
So this is the OPZ, and it's currently out of production, but it's the successor. Yeah, it's the successor to the OPXY. So the OPZ has sequencing like this, and it can do sequencing, but it also can do video. So we added the Z axis to that. That's why the Z. So if you use the USB, or no, you don't actually need to have the USB. If you have the app that goes with it, right?
iPad.
Then you can do Unity projects, which is a free. You are familiar with Unity? Yeah. So you can build your own worlds and then animate those. I think that's a new workshop for next year.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, but anyway, so the OPXY that you tried out there, it's based on the OPZ. I mean, so okay, but no video today. You have some noise in there.
I have some noise in here.
All right, maybe you need a longer. Oh, you had it. That's cool. And again, it will, so any input, and you can select whatever input it is.
Stereo sound cute to me.
Perfect. And what channel did you go into?
3.
There you go. And right now we haven't used the knobs at all to set anything. Excuse me, but that could be set to EQ. It could be set to filter or compressor or whatever you want. Could also be set to MIDI. So you could use this as a MIDI controller for something else, or you could use this as I want the internal kick here, the internal snare here, and then I want the control my synthesizer here, my modular, so you could really customize exactly the layout of TX6.
You were doing the drums on it earlier before you guys set up.
Yeah.
It has an internal drum machine. Once you start plugging things in, can you only use tracks that don't have stuff?
No, you
in
can.
For that?
Good question. You can use it in parallel.
That's what I thought.
And it would share the channel.
Volume.
So exactly. So if you pull the fader, it would pull both the external signal going into it and the internal sound that's triggering. But yeah, so you could basically have 12 mono sources with merge cables going into. So we could have 12 pocket operators using the built-in drum machine as well, and mix that all. Overkill, but yeah, you can do it.
But then, do you get into pan stuff to kind of?
Yeah, you can do that.
That's how you kind of get the 12 channels.
Sure thing. Yeah.
So that has 12 channels?
Yes, these are 6 stereo channels, so stereo inputs. Right. So you could use like a, where's it? Here we go. Like just a split cable that you use the other way. So we have that here. So you connect 2 outputs into a stereo output, basically.
So it's aux in and XLR out? In Sweden we say mini jack or 3.5 millimeter, but it's just regular 1/4 inch. So this is TS and this is TRS.
Can you show the camera?
Oh yeah, sure. I can. Let's see if that works. So this is TRS, like a stereo connector, and then these are 2 mono. And it's great to use with a pocket operator, for instance. So I could have the, how would it be? Yeah, right. So if I want a daisy chain, I love this. So so I could use a pocket operator, daisy chain them like this using a stereo cable. But I could also, if I want more control over each unit, I want to go into, each unit should go into one channel. But I still want to pass on the click track. Then I have, exactly. So then I have my unit here going out, and I think this is the audio, and then, or sorry, the click. And then I go in here. Oops. So the click would go to the next one. There we go. And then I get a new cable and do the same thing and the same thing and same thing. So that way I can get full control over each model while they're still being synchronized. And there's tons of ways to do it. You can do, you know, the other way around. But that's a handy way to use this cable and get your pocket operator chain going.
How do you handle sync on the mixer? Is there a MIDI in or?
There's MIDI in over USB-C. There is no sync in other than over Bluetooth. So it's wireless MIDI over Bluetooth, low energy. You could set it to, so if I hold shift and press select, I can go, and you probably won't see this, but there is a tempo setting, a clock setting rather. And the source could be internal, it could be the USB, it could be Bluetooth low energy, it could be any of the audio inputs.
Oh, okay.
So imagine having a vinyl set. You're playing vinyl, you know, maybe shifting in tempo, but you run one of the outputs from the mixer of your DJ mixer into here. You set that to be the track sync source or clock source, and TXX will capture the audio and detect the beat, and then produce a sync signal for the rest of your hardware setup. So you could have your vinyl controlling your synths, basically.
Does the recorder accept sync? Or I thought I saw people DJing with the recorder.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. So you can have 2 of these and a mixer, and you have a quite portable setup. And then output, you go to the front here, sorry. And you can set that to 8-note sync for pocket operators, just an 8-note click track, any audio pulse basically. Or it could be 16 for modular or for, stuff that use that. Or it could be sync 24 for like your 808 or your old drum machines. So it's quite a powerful device, this. The inputs can also be used as tuners, so if you have an external instrument, plug that in here, and then you can play whatever, and it will show the key you're playing.
This has outboard effects, or this has effects, I should say.
It has built-in. Let's play something.
Okay.
And this was the noise, so let's see.
This is our noise.
And
track.
here's, you went into channel 4.
Oh, sorry.
Turn down low. Wonderful. So stereo.
Yeah.
That was working perfect. We had some stereo. So okay, so I have a signal going in, and I can engage the effects, and it's reverb. You can hear the ambience. It can be a chorus. It can be a delay.
Oh, nice.
So these are send effects. These are send effects. You can decide per channel how much goes into that. And the number 2 here are insert effects. So that will affect everything or just one channel. But let's go into here. So it could be kind of a bit crusher. It could be distortion. It could be kind of a tremolo.
Oh my goodness.
At 160 BPM. So this is nice to have noise going into here in tempo with that.
Wow.
Could be a freeze. So it takes a portion and then you can play it around. And then kind of like a tape scratching thing or tape stop.
Tape stop. Oh, nice.
If you want to stop the tape. I think that's it. Oh, there's a filter. So a low pass filter with a resonance.
Wow.
Yep, there we go. So, I mean, it was a noisy source.
Yeah,
we added more
yeah,
noise, but you get the picture. Cool. So, how much OPZ have you been using for this project here? What was this?
This was an afterthought. I thought of it today because the noise loop is a great way for me to like showcase just how powerful this can be. Everything is pretty much being automated, both effects, the tape, the performance, and then all 4 synth channels that's being used.
Right. I know you have OPXY as well, right?
Yeah.
How would you compare this to that? Have you had equal amount of time with the units so you can
so I can make a fair comparison? I'd say that it is the OPXY is like a beautiful continuation or like evolving of the OPZ. I just needed the video.
Right. And how do you use the video?
When it came to OPZ, I would just I would use video in kind of like smaller settings, like maybe something like this, and just kind of leave it on the iPad, and then but it would be for tracks that are already kind of completed,
right.
And then I'm using the songs to sequence like the motion in the video, and you can automate that as well. Record your movements, record your twists and things that go inside the song. Those can be the like keep like tracking.
I hear you've been deep in this.
Yeah, so I've gotten really deep in this to the point where it's like I take it with me to church, to like wherever. I go like sleep on my nightstand. I spend a lot of time with like the OPZ.
Well, I hear you, and the first time I got my hands on this, I realized, okay, there's no more downtime. I can make workable music. I can produce my music anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I've been performing with this. I mean, we shouldn't talk too much about that because it's been out of production. But
yeah.
It's so slept on. So if you're into video and syncing audio with video stuff, check that out definitely. And you can get a good deal secondhand, and you know who to ask for.
I got your back. I got your back.
So, any final questions? We're about to wrap it up. Did you have another track on here? No, that was the two, and then you had the noise thing.
Yeah, I think I did just have the two.
Yeah. So, any other questions for Heavee? Yeah, please.
Do you perform with this?
This has been my first time kind of like into this space. Normally I DJ, but this is something that I post a lot of content online of jamming and recording jams and archiving that. So this is the first time, like, but I do it at home and I record that and I post that. So
Awesome. Anything else for Heavee?
When
So-
are the songs going on Bandcamp?
That's a good question. So you mentioned, you sample something external. So we'll have to look at that.
Okay.
But what's the process of clearing stuff down here? Or,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that all depends on which collection
Mhm.
we're using. Sunrod is the most prickly in that it's, you know, it
Fair.
depends on how the material is being used. If it's just being put out into the world for creative purposes,
Mhm.
then it's totally fair game. But if it's being something that would potentially be marketed or sold, then we have to get permissions from the collection owner.
cool.
Okay.
But with these types of, archive residencies, we've had two kind of notable Sun Ra projects that have culminated in a release. So that's ongoing, and I think, you'd probably agree that you'd want to come back in,
Absolutely.
spend some more time, and continue to develop these tracks. I mean, we had a lot of fun this afternoon just jamming and recording the live jams, which she said was a blast. So I think that's something that we would like to continue, and then maybe talk about a sort of official archive release. Or
Yeah, and we as Teenage Engineering would love to participate in that as well. But let's then get back to the answer. We don't know yet, but we're working on it.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Stay
stay
tuned.
tuned. Harry, did you have a question?
Yeah, love the name, but how'd you get that?
Heavy. It's from I started dancing before I was DJing, and that was just the name that was appointed to me because I was the largest dancer in the group. So I was Heavy D.
At
And
my
then-
age, years ago, it inferred something else, and so I had to ask.
Oh, okay, yeah. They called me
Serious without credibility.
Really, yeah. They called me Heavy as when I was in high school as a dancer in the footwork dance group, and then over time I changed it to DJ Heavy D as I started to learn how to produce, and then I just kept Heavy. That's all I needed. As things kind of took more serious turn, I started to find myself and figure out things that spoke to me.
I saw some clip you posted. My name Heavy.
I was in that was Elevate Festival in Austria. That was my first time in Vienna. Yeah.
So the music has been taking you places.
Absolutely. Last year was insane. A lot of firsts. Vienna, Krakow, Poland, Unsound Festival, a few different things in London, Barcelona, Primavera Sound. It was incredible. Arca was there. it was amazing. Yeah, a lot of different places like that. There's stuff on the horizon for this year too. So
Hopefully in Stockholm.
Well deserved.
yes.
Yeah, we'll have you come over.
What about here?
What about here? We got to do more. I honestly, the idea is to build things on our kind of curate some stuff, some special stuff. Yeah. So that's the plan. Yeah.
And do you still dance?
With enough beers.
I thought he was gonna say if you give me a beat.
That too, all in spirit. Yeah, maybe one day I'll save a dance for you, Tobias. I'll show you some works.
Sweet. So with that, thank you so much, Heavee. Thank you so much, participants. Thank you to the ESS space and
Thank
for
you,
the
guys.
opportunity. It's been a blast. Let's explore what else we can do together, but thank you for now. And we kind of end this right now, right?
do you guys want to just scope out the archive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Our way out.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Just a little tour, and then we can all call it a night.
Sweet.
Yeah. So if you guys
Thank
wanna
you
follow
so
me-
much, everybody. This was amazing.